What do you do with a person who doesn't seem to take a clue? Do you shut the door in his face? Do you speak something that would stop him abruptly? Do you say something that would jolt him out of his complacency? This is the question that I consider every now and then. Because there are certain people in the world who cannot take a clue. There are people who offer their opinions readily. There are people in the world who offer their advice readily. You may ask me, what is it that you do, Sam? Do you not offer your opinions readily? Do you not offer your philosophy readily? Do you not offer your message readily? I offer my message to people who are willing to listen. I offer my message to those who are interested in hearing my message. But I'm certainly not offering my message to the person who is not willing to hear it. I certainly will not force myself on anyone who is not willing to hear my message. And I will certainly not advise anyone who is not willing to take my advice. First of all, one should never advise. The ideal position is one in which a person never advises. But we often find ourselves advising one another. And we think it is for the benefit of others that we advise another person. It may not always be. We do not know who the other person is. We don't know what his circumstances are. We don't know what sort of conditions have shaped him. Yet we offer advice. In many cases, foolishly. The best position, as I said earlier, is one in which one never advises. One merely presents a point of view. A point of view which seems justifiable to oneself. But it may not be justifiable to the other person. Because the job of advising, the job of speaking, is difficult. It is best that one does it with a certain degree of discretion. It is best that one does it with a certain degree of politeness. It is best that one does it with a certain sense that the advice could be unnecessary. It could be rejected for that reason. And it could also be rejected because it is foolish. There are times when one steps in, when someone is doing something wrong, something obviously wrong, one steps in and offers a piece of advice. But that advice may not always be well taken. It will often be rejected, I think, because people don't like to be told. People don't like to be told that they are wrong. Who decides what is right and what is wrong finally? What is right for a certain person is wrong for another. There can be no person who can arbitrarily decide what is right and what is wrong. And that is why some people go to religion. Some people cite God. Citing God is one thing and citing religion is another. They are related, of course. So before I lose my way, let me just say this. How does one respond to someone who cannot take a clue? Maybe one has to say something that would make the person stop. Perhaps a door needs to be slammed in someone's face. Above all, one must consider a charitable approach. One must be charitable to the other person. One must be willing to consider the other person as one would be willing to consider oneself. One is not above making mistakes oneself. If I am to correct someone, let me be aware of my own mistakes and my own tendency to make mistakes. And let me be understanding and sympathetic. Before I decide to slam the door in somebody's face, let me be sympathetic. Let me view him as I would view myself. Maybe I am guilty of the same crime that I believe he is committing. Maybe I'm guilty of the same crime that I believe that he has committed. So, there is a need for me to consider this person, this offending person, sympathetically before I say anything or do anything that I would regret.